Hey guys, what is going on? Lego Man 123 here, and welcome back to another Lego news story. Where today in this episode we have some pretty exciting and also some really interesting Lego news to take a look at. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting off, we have two new sets for the Chinese New Year, and the first one seems to be a story from China. Not 100% sure on the exact details for the story, but I do know it's some sort of story for like China and all that. Now hopefully I'm getting that correctly. Very sorry if I am not. But honestly, wow, I love the design for this. I love the build for this temple-like building or some sort of house. I just love the overall design for it, the texturing of it, the part usage, including like these sort of spike pieces to give that sort of like snow feel, these stickers or prints. That is really nice, and I think that's like lettuce or something, or like some sort of weed. Really nice part usage there. Some really nice sort of pieces to represent like fireworks. I love the fireworks part there, and then the minifig selection is also really interesting. Some really nice torsos. Some of them might be the same from the previous Chinese New Year sets we have gotten, and then these really nice trees. I just love the landscape build for it as well, with this really nice sort of cliff with some snow on it, and then this Chinese dragon looks really awesome. I love the amount of detailing on it, with these really sort of like Pacific pieces in the gold. The eyes are really nice, and then wow, the banana pieces in sort of an aquarish blue sort of green color look really awesome. I would have never expected that, and then just all the detailing on the dragon is really awesome. Then the next Chinese New Year set is this really awesome sort of Chinese-inspired garden. I just love the overall design for it. I love the entrance for it with this really nice sort of a circle doorway entrance. And there's one at either side, so there's one over here and then one over here. And then I also love the sort of entrance for it as well, with like some lanterns along the side with some really nice sort of like banner. I think that's some sort of like cape piece with writing on it, which is really interesting. And then we also have this really cool minifig with a translucent red head and then some torso printing on like this really nice sort of, I think that's translucent maybe, or just like a regular red color. That is really awesome to see. I love the roof design with it, with some really nice part usage. And then inside we have this really cool bull build. Now there's some sort of translucent red coloring there. I think that might be the heart of the bull. I'm not 100% sure, but I love the build for the bull. And then we have this lake here, really nice. A really nice bridge with a path. And then some bamboo, I believe that's what it is. I really love the design for that. I love the coloring for it with like two different colors of green. And then the build for like this sort of area is really nice as well. I especially love the build for the roof. And then just the inside is just full of some really nice detailing for like the landscape and the plants. And the minifig selection in this set is also pretty awesome. I love the different torsos for each of the minifigs. I like how we're getting different ones from the other Chinese New Year sets. There might be some ones we have got before in some of like the older Chinese sets or Chinese New Year sets, but I think it's really awesome how we're getting some really unique designs for torsos. And I also love this sort of like lamp design for inside of the garden or just out the outside for the garden. I just love those like lantern pieces in the red, and then the translucent heads with this really interesting print on it. I think that is really awesome. And then the 1x2 tile, like to give it that sort of diamond shape, to sort of like moved it, and they have this really nice print on it. I just love the amount of printing for the Chinese New Year sets. Next up we have a Monkey Kid set. And at first, I thought this was actually like some sort of like final battle, because it has most of the characters in like the Monkey Kid sort of like gang in a way. We have Sandy, and then we have Monkey Kid, and then, oh, I've forgotten her name, the minifig down here. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, I've actually forgotten the name of her. Then we just have two sort of citizens, or like sort of more gang members in the Monkey Kid. And then we have the little cat here, which does belong to Sandy. And then we do have the sun, something to do with the sun, I'm not 100% sure. And then we just have like the Spider Queen lady, and then like some henchmen. So I honestly thought this was some sort of like final battle, because we do have two pretty sort of big or medium-sized builds for each of the sides. We do have the Cloud Jet, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It might have a bit more of a different design, because I don't think on the other Cloud Jet the sort of like cannons were on there, and then I don't think Sandy could get on it. So it's really interesting how we're getting a similar design for it, but just like different to actually suit Sandy, which I think is really nice. And then like this sort of build for some sort of like cannon thing, I'm not 100% sure on what it is, but I do like the inclusion of it. So, as I said, when I first saw this set, I thought it was going to be some sort of final battle, but after taking a bit more of a closer look at these shipping containers, then I thought that this could be some sort of like expansion, and then also something to include for the like Monkey Kid HQ with like that giant ship with these shipping containers. So it could be some sort of expansion for that, because like we have this bedroom area for like a bunk bed, and then like this sort of desk area, and then we have this area for like some sort of like lounge room with the chair, and then some sort of like arcade and TV. So I thought it could be some sort of expansion for that, and it could be like some sort of like final battle at the Monkey Kid HQ, which would be definitely pretty awesome. Next up, we have a couple of LEGO Harry Potter books. The first one is Let's Play Quidditch. First of all, I really love the art design for this. I love the sort of cartoonish feel with it, and it really does look really nice. And included inside, I'm probably guessing, is a lot of things to do with like Quidditch, the rules of it, like how to play it, possibly some like famous Quidditch players, and then down the bottom it does have like activities possibly related to like Quidditch, and then also the minifig, which is Cedric Diggory in his Hufflepuff sort of uniform for Quidditch. The only time I've actually seen the Hufflepuff Quidditch uniform was in the Diagon Alley set in the Quidditch Quality Supplies build, so that was actually exclusive until now, and this is now the cheapest way to get it. I'm pretty sure the facial expression and hairpiece is the exact same as the Cedric Diggory we got from the second wave of Harry Potter sets, which was LEGO Harry Potter the Hungarian Horntail Triwizard like tournament set, and then possibly maybe in the CMF series 1 for Harry Potter, but that might be a different facial expression and hairpiece for Cedric's. So it's definitely really awesome that we're getting like the Hufflepuff uniform for Quidditch in such a cheap set. The next LEGO Harry Potter book is the official 2022 yearbook, which is definitely really interesting because we're not even in 2021 and we're already getting images for a 2022 yearbook, but this cover is not final, so they may make some changes leading up to when this actually does come out. And the minifig included is Lucius Malfoy, and I believe this is the exact same version as him from the Diagon Alley set with like the torso and the leg printing, and then also the Superman head, and then this really nice blonde hair piece. And then I really wish they had his really Pacific cane he does have with like the snake head on like the top of it. I really wish they made that instead of just having like a black rod. But then the art design for this is very similar to the one we just took a look at. I just love the cartoonish feel with it, and the amount of detailing on it is really awesome. I really hope they possibly maybe improve on it. I really hope they make it look as good as this, because I just love all the sort of minifigs on it in like their different poses. And then the next LEGO Harry Potter book is Fun to Color, which does sound really interesting because instead of just having a Harry Potter book where you color in just like Harry Potter scenes and just a bunch of different sort of Harry Potter sort of drawings, you can actually color in some LEGO Harry Potter related pictures. So I think that is really interesting to actually see like minifigs in the Harry Potter world, and you can actually draw them or like color them in, which I think is definitely really awesome, because just from the front cover I think there's a lot of really awesome drawings in this. The next LEGO Harry Potter book is Magic Trouble, and this cover is also not final, so I'm interested to see how they change it up, because I'm hoping that isn't the same Lucius Malfoy as we're going to actually get for the sort of final cover, because like he doesn't have any printing on him, which is definitely a shame, and Harry doesn't have any printing on him as well, so I'm hoping they actually do include some printing on him. But I love, as well as the other ones, the cartoonish design for it. I also love the corridor for this with like the sun shining in, and then in the background we have like that sort of part to get into Professor Dumbledore's office. And we do have a new variant for Lucius Malfoy. His torso and legs. I think the legs are the same, but the torso is definitely different, which is definitely really awesome to get, because then this minifig would be exclusive to this book, which is definitely interesting. So I'm excited to see what sort of activities they would include in this, because I'm really not sure. When I think of Magic Trouble, I'm possibly maybe thinking of Dobby from the Chamber of Secrets, and then also possibly Fred and George. So we might have some sort of like book theme on Dobby, or possibly even Fred or George, which might be definitely interesting, but I think it's more targeted between Dobby. And then the final LEGO Harry Potter book is Gear Up for Magic, and this cover is also not final, but wow, I really love the design for the cover. I like Harry on his broom, like sort of soaring through with like all the gear included, or like the magic supplies included. So I really hope that is the final one. I just love the all the accessories for this, and you can actually get all of these in such a cheap set. I wouldn't call it a set, a cheap book. So you can get all these really nice accessories. Instead of like getting heaps and heaps of the Harry Potter sets, you can actually get this one book to just get a bunch of like Harry Potter accessories, which is definitely really cool. And the accessories are a cauldron, the lantern piece, 2 like gems or crystals, a spider, a broomstick, a bat, which is definitely really cool, because I actually don't have any bats in my whole entire Lego collection. And then we have this really nice sword, 2 like the sort of packet of wands possibly, or like the wands. I think they're like the sort of dark brown. A 1x2 bar of chocolate, a feather with that really nice piece, an umbrella, a pumpkin, and then a translucent green crystal, a goblet, a chocolate frog, a 1x2 tile for the envelope, and then the Boy Who Lived Daily Prophet newspaper. I really wish we got a new one of that, because we've just got so many of them from just a heap of Harry Potter sets from like the first, the second, and then the third wave of Harry Potter sets. So I would definitely think this is worth it, because you're getting a lot of really nice accessories in such a cheap Lego Harry Potter book. And then the final bit of Lego news for this episode is that we are getting a Colosseum, and I think this is like Lego Creator 18 plus. I'm not 100% sure. I don't think they specifically like tell you, but this is now the officially biggest Lego set, because the previous one was the Millennium, the UCS Millennium Falcon, and that was the biggest set, but now it's been overthrown by the Lego Colosseum. And honestly, when I first saw this, I was like, are you serious? There's like, not barely, but there's like not many pieces, because the Millennium Falcon definitely does show it with the piece count, but honestly, this really doesn't show it with the piece count. But the overall design for it, I think, is definitely really accurate, because the Colosseum has a really specific design with like the sort of circular shaping of it, the sort of inside of it with like the seating area, the window parts on the outside. So I think Lego captured all those features really nicely, and it is micro scale, because if it was like minifig scale, then it would be a lot more bigger, but that would be pretty epic to actually see in the future. Even the inside of it has some really nice detailing with like the columns for the seats, and then the bottom of it, I think they said in the video that's like the original build for the inside of it, where like they battle and all that, which is definitely interesting. And then even the sort of bottom of it with like this part down here has some really nice detailing for like micro scale trees. and then these things down here, they are quite hard to see, but the yellow one is the most easiest. That is actually a car, a micro scale car, which is definitely really awesome. And then I think like the studs are mostly going to represent like rocks maybe, or like I'm not sure what else they would represent apart from rocks, but the overall design for the Colosseum is pretty awesome. I love the color scheme for it with like a sort of a light brown, a bit more of a dark brown. I just love the color scheme for it, and the overall design is really awesome. And I think this set would roughly go for, I'm pretty sure it's set like 500 and like maybe 50, somewhere in between the 500, because I don't think it would go for 600, because I think the UCS Millennium Falcon was like 400, and that was the biggest LEGO set, but now this is the biggest LEGO set. So it's really interesting sort of compare that, because the UCS Millennium Falcon had minifigs where this one doesn't, so like the price possibly would change. I'm not 100% sure on like how that work. Is it going to be like piece, is it like piece per cent or something? I think it's something like that, but like I think it's definitely worth it, because the overall design for it does look really accurate with like the windows, just all the specific details for like each of the windows. I think they've definitely worked that out really nicely with just each of the sort of columns in the Colosseum, and also including like the sort of battle, almost like battlegrounds back in like when the Colosseum was like first built, when they had battles there. I think that inclusion is really nice. The sort of detailing for like the cars and like the trees is really nice, and then just seeing all the layers for the Colosseum is also really awesome. So if you do have that amount of money, then I think it is definitely worth it. So hope you guys did enjoy this video as much as I did making it, because I really did enjoy sharing my thoughts and opinions on all the LEGO news which was in this episode. So I would definitely love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. And as always guys, hope you guys did enjoy this video, and I can see, so goodbye.